when I was asking different guys, about playing basketball at East Chicago Central, a lot of guys who went on to play college basketball stated that Coach Todd was a great coach, but the fundamentals of basketball wasn't taught to y'all. How you feel about that statement? And give me your opinion on your relationship with Coach Todd and how his basketball knowledge reached you.
Okay. Coach Todd, Coach Todd was a good coach. He was a decent coach. You know what I'm saying? I think he knew a lot about the game, but at the same time, I think we didn't win because of him. You know, I hate to put it all on him like that, but certain coaches are built for certain teams. You know, it's that way in the NBA. You know, teams lose, suddenly they get a coach that's more, what they call that, more
knowledgeable.
Yeah, not more knowledgeable, but better with the players.
Gotcha.
They have a better relationship with the players. The players respond to them better.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with the teams that Coach Todd had when I was there at the end of his tenure, they just didn't respond to him the way I think he wanted to. You know, '97 we won all those games off sheer talent. It had nothing to do with what Coach Todd was talking about. You know, it would be games where we didn't even pay attention to what he was talking about. You know, we get in a huddle amongst each other after a free throw and be like, well, look, this is what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And boom, we go out there and get it done. And then when you blowing teams out, how much coaching can you really be doing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you beating the team by 30 in the second quarter, it's not a whole lot of coaching to be done. It's just, you know, sub in and out, get players in, you know, get certain players out, and keep it moving. But in the crunch time, when we really needed somebody to lead, us to be at the helm, and I don't think he was the right person. Definitely, I think if Coach Reyes had been coaching us, you know, had been head coach that year, or definitely if Coach Adele had been the head coach that year, we win. Because they just had a totally different mentality. They had a total different game plan of what we should have been doing. And sometimes that was confusing because you could hear the coaches saying, JT, we need to run, or JT, you know, this is what we need to do. And, you know, Coach Todd is the head coach, he's going to do his thing. But with the team we had, we should have just ran all day long. Everybody on that team was pretty quick and could get up and down the floor. We were a well-conditioned team. You have to think over the course of 2.5 years or 3 years, all we did, that team that was put together in '97, all we did was play basketball the entire year round. Then from high school basketball, it was straight to AAU basketball and practicing and running. And we even started our own conditioning early in '97 in like August, I think. Wow. You know, and the entire team, it was a collective effort of everybody, that the entire team needed to be there in conditioning and doing certain things. So the way that team should have been ran is we should have ran more. We should have ran more motion offense, more chances for the ball to be touched by other players. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about the coach. That's not to slight Coach Todd. I just don't think he was the right coach for our team or the '96 team. The '96 team, definitely, it was no discipline, no structure. The players just didn't respond to him. They just didn't respond to him. But they responded to Coach Reyes. Whatever Coach Reyes told anybody to do, they did. Yeah. Coach Adele, whatever Coach Adele said, we did. He told us to run, we ran. You know, they just responded to those two guys much better. The two coaches that were there that I believe would have done a better job at the head coaching position.
So what part of your game, what part of coaching improved when you went to Mercer and then at Central? Like, did you learn a whole new level of basketball, or was it just a little thing that you didn't know?
It was, I don't want to say it was a whole new level, but it was definitely more of what we were learning at the high school level. So the conditioning we thought we was doing, and we was doing a lot of, it was nothing compared to the conditioning I had to do when I got to the college level. It was more of it. And I had to learn to adjust to it. That's the one main thing that a lot of these guys going into school now have to understand, is that it's totally different, the conditioning part of it. You know, I think right now Woods is doing a good job of bringing that to the game at Central. You know, I think he's doing an excellent job of it, because they tell me that he working in the depth, which is what he should be doing, because he's only doing what he's been taught. And I know he learned that at the next level. So
yeah.
Everything, just your work ethic has to jump up. You know, everything has to jump up. You know, things that they weren't on us about all the time.
Yeah.
They own you all the time about at the next level. When they know you can be a good player, or you want to just remain on your scholarship, you have to learn to pick up everything that you're doing. Has to go to another level. Has to go up a couple notches.
Gotcha. Now, quick question. You know, you grew up in Calumet, but then you moved to the Harbor. A lot of people feel like Coach Todd and his administration, his organization, was heavily favored to the Calumet basketball player. You know, you being from both sides and you playing basketball, how did you feel about that statement?
I can't disagree with it. I can't disagree with it. I can't disagree. I think he did heavily favor those guys, but I think he heavily favored them for a reason. And I mean, if anybody is honest with themselves, you have to know that some of the best basketball or some of the best games were played on the other side of town. There were a lot of good games over here in the Harbor, but there were most of the time, man, when you went to the Cage or you went to Goodman Park, and some people don't even remember this. Only the true hoopers remember this. But the real basketball court was the court behind 151 before they built that extra building on behind 151.
Yeah. That
was the court where you could go and sit on that rail, and man, they'd be out there all day. You know, over here in the Harbor, man, we had a lot of good games. I mean, Sunnyside. Once I got older, we would play at Sunnyside a lot, and a lot of the older guys from Andrian, like the Brandon Bradleys and all of that, and
Chris Artist and all that.
Chris Artist and all those guys would be at the park, and Marlon and Chubb, they would come out there sometimes. And you know, we had the course going, you know. But getting back to my point, you know, those guys, they played a lot. You know, they played a lot, and sometimes we would have to go over there to get, you know, good games if we weren't afraid to go over there. You know, by me being from both sides of town, you know, being, you know, living over there and growing up over there first, and then moving over here and getting to know these guys, I basically had what they call the ghetto pass. You know, I could go over there and not have any problems. You know, I didn't bother anybody. Yeah. I was only going to play ball, and then they knew you were playing ball. They didn't have a problem with it either. You know, so I think that's kind of why Todd leaned to them a little bit more, but no doubt, you know, some of the best players came from over on this side of town, from the Harbor, you know, the Marlins, the Cocos, you know,
Trey Bugs,
Kuzabi Powell, you know, a lot of guys that were the awesome players came from this side of town.
Gotcha.